Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh.
Hello everyone and welcome to this video. I am so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be showing you how I decorated my house for Christmas. My style is simplistic and toddler proof. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Make sure you stay tuned for the DIY Christmas decoration. I'm going to be jumping right into cleaning up my living room and getting it ready for the decorations that are going to go in here.
Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go.
First, I'm just going to tidy up, and then I'm going to be cleaning off my couches, sweeping the floors until after I bring out all the glitter.
Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, 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 la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da.
I just like to use a simple all-purpose cleaner on my couches, and it wipes off easily with a damp microfiber rag.
Hanging marbles in the tree, and I've lit my house with Christmas lights, so you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be?
I'll be starting with my quote-unquote Christmas tree, and that just includes 2 packages of green Christmas lights, a star for the top, and some ornaments. I picked these up for less than $10 from the Dollar General, and I'm going to be putting this tree quote-unquote on my wall. That's where I feel like the kids are least likely to tear it down. I'm going to attach it using thumbtacks, and I figure even if I leave a whole bunch of holes in the wall, I know how to spackle and repaint, and it's not that big of a deal to me, but you could use command hooks or something like that if you decided to do this in your own home. I'm just going to be draping the lights back and forth and pinning them to get an idea of what I want, and then I'm going to go back in and readjust it to make the shape that I want after it's up on the wall and I can see it better.
Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories.
Christmas, a time for miracles, wishing to find a remedy, hoping for better days to come. Memories of flickering shadows, cold nights, hearing the wind blows the snowflakes, reminds me of something gone. Send me lights and angels, help me through the changes, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night. Christmas night. My only wish this year is for you to be here. Show me lights and angels, help me through the changes, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night. Oh, show me hope and glory, write us a different story, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night. Oh, 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 I'll be waiting on miracles tonight. 'Cause don't you know it's Christmas? Don't you know it's Christmas? That's why I'm waiting on miracles tonight.
Now that I have it all up on the wall, I'm going to be using the ornaments and putting hooks in them as I go, because apparently they don't come with hooks anymore, and just placing them on the strand. They're really light, they're plastic, they're not even glass, so I'm not worried about them dropping and breaking, and I'm not worried about them pulling these lights down either. My daughter absolutely loved helping with this part. My son was asleep, and that was probably for the best. My daughter is 3, my son is 1. He isn't quite to the age to help, but my daughter loved this part of the decorations.
Christmas is right here. Well, I've got news for you. I know you're waiting. Christmas is right here. Hold on, it's time for it to reappear. Well, all around me I hear children singing the songs that we all know. Well, all around me I hear children singing the songs that we all know. Oh yeah, the Christmas spirit's coming on. Love is in the air, my heart is filled with peace. It comes back every year just to set my mind at ease. Oh, Christmas is a part of me. Love is in the air, my heart is filled with peace. It comes back every year just to set my mind at ease. Oh, Christmas is a part of me. Oh, Christmas is a part of me. Ooh, Christmas is a part of me. Hey, ooh, yeah. Christmas is a part of me. Oh, yes it is. Ooh, Christmas.
And of course, that celebrated time of putting up the Christmas tree when the topper goes on, I also put this up with a thumbtack.
Oh, Christmas is a part of me.
I put up a few stockings as well, but I didn't really like the placement of these, so I ended up moving them, but I'll show you that in just a minute. This entertainment center already had lights on it, so I just made sure to dust everything off, put a table runner under there. I think it looked a lot better than just having it plain, and it set the lights off that were down there already way better than it did without it. I haven't actually turned these lights on since last Christmas. They've just been sitting down here, so that's why everything needed to be cleaned up. I needed to turn the plug around because we've moved this entertainment center since last year to where it was facing the right way so I could plug it in. And after that was done, it really tied in the space and made it look a whole lot more Christmassy.
Guide. So take your neighbor by the hand and join the dance parade before the clock strikes and it's all too late. Come on over, it's the friendliest time of year. Come on up, come on in, nothing better than to give the gift of cheer. So come on in, come on up, come on over, we'll be singing all them songs. So let us have a swinging.
This is where I ended up moving those stockings. I feel like they looked much more like they were over a fireplace here, even though we don't have one. So now I'm just going to be adding a red blanket over on my couch to kind of tie in this part of the room, and then moving on to a different room.
Come on in, get together, come on in.
Like I said, I'm going super simplistic this year. I put up some mistletoe in the dining room, a little something on the wall, and a little something on my table. I didn't go super fancy with anything, but I feel like it was still the perfect Christmas touch that the house needed to get us all more in the holiday spirit. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing for my dining room is this idea that I got from a different channel. I'll link that down below. I'm going to be tracing out circles with wrapping paper, cutting that out, gluing it onto the stencil that I use to trace it, and then stenciling on or painting on some letters to create this joy sign for my wall. I was super excited about it whenever I saw it on this other YouTuber's channel. I thought it was a really cute idea. I didn't actually have stencils that were that big, so I just hand painted them instead. For anyone who is interested, I will have a full list of the items that I used for all my DIYs in the description box.
My dear, like life is pulling my leg, the day's gone snailing by, slower than ever before. Presented opportunity to work on my patience, but now the years past and I don't have to wait no more. It's Christmas Day, Christmas Day.
So now I'm just going to be hot gluing these onto the stencils. The hot glue will easily come up off the stencils later, and I could reuse them as stencils if I wanted to. I didn't originally get them for stencils, so I don't really mind if they're not usable later, but I think I can reuse them if I want to.
I'm sneaking down the stairs to where our tree is at, to see what Santa Claus has brought. There's a red and green parcel, the label reads Marcel. I wonder if it's what I thought. Oh, it's Christmas Day,
So I thought I had stencils that were big enough, but it turned out they were just a little too small in comparison with these circles. So I decided just to hand letter using the style of the stencils. I think it worked out pretty good. I just had to make sure to go over it all very well to make sure that the paint was opaque instead of see-through and streaky. I am also using dollar store paint and dollar store sponge brushes here. Like I said, there will be a list of the items I'm using in the description box below. Next, I'm just going to be painting the top part that it's going to be hanging by with a coat of white and then a coat of silver sparkly to make it look a little bit more like an ornament while it's hanging on the wall. For the next project, I picked up 4 of these frames with metal on the inside. They looked like the easiest to remove with these little flaps on the back. And sure enough, I removed them all and just had the frames left when I was done so that I could make a box for a tea light LED candle to go in the middle and some flowers. I've also seen this done with little holly leaves and little red berries that looks a little more Christmassy, but I didn't like that idea as much. I don't like the super traditional Christmas stuff, as you can tell already, so I used deep red flowers for mine. I just glued this together using hot glue. I should have held it a little longer. It didn't hold up quite as well as I thought it would, so I think I might add a little bit more glue or some super glue or something. This hot glue didn't work super well on these frames, but it did work pretty good. So you could just use hot glue or just maybe use a little more glue than I did if you end up doing this yourself. So I glued all 4 sides and then used one of the metal pieces for the bottom, put my candle in and put my flowers around, and I think it looked really cute. I had some leftover burlap from my wedding that I used on the bot underneath it as a little piece for the table, and I think it looks super cute.
This year I'll think about how
Before I can add anything to my table though, I needed to clean it up and wipe it off, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to get all these Christmas decorations out of here. I just have one tote. I'm not the kind of person that has a ton of decorations for each season or each holiday because I just don't get that much into it. So I'm just going to put all my Christmas stuff into this tote and get it out of here and clean it up.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory.
After that was done, I was ready to once again use thumbtacks and hang those ornaments on the wall. It was kind of an afterthought to put a little bit of garland above it because it just sort of looked a little plain hanging on the wall like that. I have seen where you can add little pine cones or little greenery to the top of these ornaments and they look a lot cuter that way, but I didn't have any and I didn't really feel like spending any more money on it. So I just used the garland and I think it looks just fine. It's very minimalistic. It's just what I was hoping for. A little glitter, a little joy, obviously, and a little Christmas spirit.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents.
This table decoration turned out really cute. I love the way it looks with the joy in the background. And that leads me to the next thing that goes in my dining room. This is a greeting card holder that my mom got me. I think it is such a great idea. That way my fridge isn't just horrendously cluttered with greeting cards, and there's no magnets to scratch up the front of my fridge. So I'm just going to be taking down my old decoration that I had there and putting this up. It is such a good idea for greeting cards.
Your love is all I want in return.
I don't know if you would count this quite as decoration, but I'm just going to be changing my letterboard to something a little more Christmassy.
I wonder why did I hurt you so? Can you let it go? I know this time I make it alright. I'm on my way to your place. The snow is falling down.
And of course, it's not November anymore, so I had to change my calendar from November to December.
I'm placing my apology underneath the Christmas tree, and I hope you know what I'm trying to show.
At the time, I thought that was it for these rooms, but I ended up doing just a little bit more in my living room after the kids went to bed. I'll show you that in just a minute.
The snow is falling down.
So I got these ginormous strands of white lights to go in this recess in my ceiling, and I just used sewing pins to hold it up because sewing pins are really strong when you put them down at an angle. I actually use them to hang pictures on, but that makes really small holes. I just ran out and couldn't do my dining room in the same way, so I'm either going to get command hooks or do something else for that, because I also ran out of thumbtacks. But this made my living room look so much more Christmassy. I could not believe it.
Reaching from my head to my toes.
Funny story, while I was up putting those lights up, I realized that I probably should have dusted for cobwebs and stuff first, but I also saw a lot of little brown spots from certain flies that get in my house all along this corner edge, so I'm just going to be using my mop and a little bit of cleaner to clean that up. This is, after all, a Christmas clean and decorate with me. What would it be without a little more cleaning?
The first flake of snow is said to fall today. The first snow this winter is promised for this day. It brings a hope of peace, both near and far away.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I really genuinely appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.